Hey there, I'm Chef Yankel, and this is a buffalo chicken sandwich. I happen to be an expert because I spent a lot of time cooking in sports bars, but I'm going to apply all of that skill to teaching you how to make the best sandwich ever. Keep watching. First of all, with your chicken breast, there are two things to take into consideration. One is the thickness of the chicken breast, and two is how fast you're going to cook it. And one of the things that I like to do when I'm cooking chicken breast is actually brine them beforehand. And one of the easiest ways to do that is in pickle juice. So if you've got some extra pickle juice around, or you're finishing a jar of pickles, save that juice and you can brine chicken breast for a buffalo chicken sandwich really nicely. Starting with salt and pepper, just a little bit. Especially if you've already brined your chicken breast, they've got a good amount of salt in them. You don't need to add more. And I'm gonna put a little bit of whole butter on my griddle. I've got it set to low right now, but I've given it plenty of time to heat up. If you're in a hurry, you can go a little bit higher. So for your chicken breast, if you wanna get them to be a little bit thinner, and you've got this fatter end and the skinnier end, but you want them to cook evenly, we can do what's called butterflying. And so you place the chicken breast down. We're gonna cut into the fattest part, sort of an even thickness right there, all the way to the end, but trying to keep the chicken intact without actually cutting it in half. And so we get a nice flat piece there, and that's gonna go right onto the griddle. We'll season the other side in a moment. This one has already been butterflied, going on. And now we're gonna add a little bit more salt and pepper. Let's imagine I just went and washed my hands. Salt, pepper, and a little bit of butter on top just to facilitate cooking and add so much nice flavor. All right, so while our chicken breast gets a nice sear going, we're gonna put buffalo sauce together. So buffalo sauce, it's a very simple sauce to make. In fact, you can just use like a Frank's hot sauce or your favorite kind of hot sauce. But typically buffalo sauce is going to incorporate butter and perhaps a little bit of honey. That's what I'm going with today. So I've got my Frank's and I've got my butter. Just gonna give it a stir. Going right into the jar. Add some honey, it'll help emulsify a little bit. Lid goes on, shake it like it's a cocktail. As soon as we flip the chicken, we're gonna start basting it with our hot sauce, but I'm just gonna wait a moment for that, let it get a little bit of a sear before we start to either cool down the temperature on the griddle or just add more moisture. It's just gonna take longer to get that sear. While we're waiting for that to happen, we can make a little bit of a blue cheese dressing that'll go on as a base for the sandwich, and very simple. I'm using some nice blue cheese crumbles, a little bit of mayonnaise, fresh squeezed lemon juice, and I've got some fresh chives from the garden. Fresh chives is really the epitome of what summer cooking should be all about. Right into our sauce. If you're gonna make a big batch of this, you can do it in a food processor or a blender. It'll be creamy, and you can control the level of creaminess either by less lemon juice, a little bit more water if you wanted to make it like a dressing texture, but if you want it like a sauce or a spread texture, I'm gonna leave it pretty thick. So I'm gonna rely on the blue cheese primarily to make that happen. I think we're probably ready to flip these chicken breasts, and so we're gonna do that. There you go. Yep. Nice sear happening right there. Time to add our buffalo sauce. So again, give it one more shake. Make sure that lid's on tight. And we're just gonna drizzle it over the top. And we're gonna do this repeatedly for the next few minutes as the chicken breast cooks. You're gonna see the honey start to help caramelize the other side. Sauce is gonna concentrate. But the more the chicken breast cooks, the more it's gonna absorb whatever we add to it, because the pores are just opening up. The heat helps it absorb things. So if we just add it cold, might not be as good. If we let it get hot first, you're gonna get some nice absorption. And then we'll melt some cheese on it at the end. So we've got our buffalo sauce, we've got our chicken. Last thing to do, toast our buns. And of course with a griddle, it couldn't be easier. Got a spot back here. Going with some brioche buns. If you can find them, they're the best. Just buttery, rich flavor. And plenty of butter in general. Not a bad thing. And last but not least, we'll put a little shredded lettuce on the bottom. Gives it a nice crunch. Gives something for the whole sandwich to bind to. So we've got the blue cheese on the bottom, a little bit of shredded iceberg. Nice and thin is the way to go. Again, food processor with your slicer attachment right in there, and you get a food processor full of that. If you're doing this for a party, it's zero effort. Move these around. Let's get some buffalo sauce underneath. So your griddle is always going to have hot and cold parts. That's kind of the nature of it. Looks like I got exactly right with that spot being where I want to toast my buns, but you keep an eye on them as you put them on there. And you can see on the griddle where dark parts start to show up. That means that's a hot spot. You've got probably a burner directly underneath it, and you learn how to move things around the griddle to make it work for you. You can cook slowly and leisurely. You can cook really quickly, really fast, and really hot. It's very versatile. Probably going to become my new favorite outdoor cooking implement besides just fire in general. Got a really nice char on our chicken. The color looks beautiful. I'm going to let some cheese melt. Now, there is a trick to melting cheese really fast on a griddle. Take a pot or a pan, put it upside down over your chicken and your cheese, a little squeeze bottle of water, spray some water underneath it, and you create a steam house that melts your cheese in about 5 seconds. Let's put some of our blue cheese sauce on the bottom of the bun. We're going to rely on the cheese to be the glue for the top part of the sandwich. And right on top of my blue cheese spread, put a little bit more there. We'll go with some iceberg. Perfect. Just a tad more buffalo sauce on top. Just smells so good. Delicious. Let's just cut this in half and see how good it is. Oh, these look perfect, super juicy. That pre-brine, it's everything with chicken. But I've got to take a bite of this. Might be the best one I've ever made. Definitely the best one I've ever had. Wow. Buffalo chicken sandwich on a griddle. This is an amazing piece of gear. Find a griddle, use it a lot. It makes lunch so easy. I mean, meals are a snap. You can cook everything at the same time. It's summertime. I'm Yankel. Get out there and cook something delicious. See you next time.